Końcem listopada mieliśmy okazję spotkać się na rozmowie z Roberto, podróżnikiem, który od kilku lat samotnie przemierza świat na swoim rowerze. Będąc w łańcucie, znalazł dla nas chwilę, by poopowiadać o własnych, niewątpliwie niesamowitych przygodach.
So my name is Roberto Baeza. I'm from Spain, from Malaga, small village. It's called Ardales. And I studied long time ago already physical education in the faculty. And then, well, I joined few Erasmus programs and I was in Czech Republic, Serbia as well for master degree. Then working in several places because of the crisis, but never as a teacher. I'm a PE teacher, but I never got to work as a teacher in Spain or abroad. So I went as an immigrant to UK, to Manchester to work in hospitality and restoration and stuff like this. Then I moved into Poland for different reasons, and I was working first for EasyJet on the customer service, so on the office. And then I was doing IT, also IT service for a short time, even if I don't like it. But, you know, it was a job at the end. And that's, I think, the key point when I found out, like, that's not what I really wanted to do, because I was just working in an office. I had a comfortable life in Poland, but the point was I was 10 hours, 8 hours working, 1 hour commuting to go there, 1 hour back. Was it what I wanted to do, no? And that's, I think, the key point that reached me to where I am right now after 6 years. I always liked to travel, to be abroad, no? Because after Erasmus, always doing some short trips to some cities. But there was something inside me, like, that told me, like, you have to go. 2016 is your year, you should go. 2015 at the end, it was a important moment in my life, because when I was in Poland, I was waiting at the same time to be called for the public system, like a school system in Spain. Finally, after years waiting, they called me. And I had a trip at the end of 2015 to go to Thailand, holidays. So I say, no, I prefer to go to Thailand than work actually in the school. Because once, it was an important moment, because once you start working in the system, at least in Spain, year after year, you know what you're gonna do. And I don't know, my mind was in something else, you know. And then I went to Thailand, and as soon as I arrived from Thailand, I booked a ticket 3 months later and decided to leave. It was a quick decision, I think. The ticket was cheap, and it was like, okay, if I change my opinion, that's okay. I have one-way ticket to Bangkok from Warsaw. If not, I'm going, definitely going, no? So yeah, left my job, close, you know, the renting the apartment, say goodbye to friends, and 3 months later I was in a plane without knowing how long I will be. Some people thought you're gonna be 3 months. I thought more like 6 months to September. And a friend of mine, I remember the one who was with me in Thailand, he told me, you're not coming back, yeah? Say, it might be an option that I'm not coming back. And like this, I make slowly, step by step, I make a way of living, you know? Like more than just a journey, a trip that I thought it would be 6 months, maybe it became a lifestyle at the end. Hey, long story, like everything happens for a reason, I guess. I didn't have anyone close to me or people. I barely met few cyclists on the way, cycle tourists. I remember when I was in India, I was Southeast Asia, and when I was in India, I remember I saw a couple, and where are you going with the bikes? No, we're going to Pakistan and then to Germany. By bike was my question. No? After I got this question 10,000 times from people, by bike you came, no? But that time was like, how you go by bike to Germany, no? But I didn't have any reference by someone, and came back to, after 1 year and a half traveling, I came back to Europe. Circumstances, I had a breakdown a little bit with someone, and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna buy a bicycle, and I had my ticket back to Thailand again. I said, I'm gonna buy a bicycle and start cycling from there to Spain, to Ardales, to my village. And that's how it started. It didn't have much, there was not a bigger thing that I was preparing for 5 years. No. In 3 weeks I went to Spain. I had to buy the bicycle, which is Polish, cross, then I bought the bags, which are Polish, crosso. And I had no idea how to repair it or anything. I just knew I'm gonna do it, you know. As I'm a sportive person, I was hitchhiking in India, but I was not doing sport. So I felt like can be a good way of connecting traveling and activity, physical activity. And since then, never, when you change the beginning, it's never easy. I always say like, first step is huge, no? The second it gets shorter, and then after that it's just small steps. It goes one after another one, no? We get some shops delivering, like they provide Polish bikes and stuff. Being honest, it's not like I want a Polish bike. I wanted a cheap bike because I didn't have too much money. German bikes are too expensive. And you need a touring bike, 1,500, 2,000 euros. That was cheaper than that, much cheaper, and I thought like, hey, it will do the job. He has done the job, but with a lot of issues on the way, a lot of changes. But yeah, I mean, there is nothing romantic about it. It's just, I just like it, the name as well. It's Africa, even though I was going to Asia, but I thought hey, it's a sign in the future I will go to Africa with this. Why not, you know? And yeah, with a Polish bike, I arrived to Poland. No? Like, it was stressful, to be honest. I didn't know anything. Like first flat tire, I learned how to fix it with a Buddhist monk in the temples. I stay in Thailand. I started in Thailand to Malaysia, and then again Thailand and Cambodia, and then Vietnam and so. And the first time I had a puncture, I went to the temple, and then he repaired it, and I make a video of him repairing it, so I can repeat it again the next time, you know. So I had no idea. I think it's like everything, you learn every day. I learn every day something about the bicycle, you know. I had no idea, but slowly I learned. Asia is I think the safest continent I've been to. Maybe at the beginning I didn't think about it, no? Like, I can give you an example. I had a locker for the bike. I bought it in Thailand. When I arrived to Turkey, it was rusty because I never used it. Never. I go in Iran, I leave it, the bicycle in front of the shop. I ask someone, can you have a look? And they laugh at me. Like, what do you mean? Just leave it there. Just go and come back. This one, I leave it there. This is the passport and everything. Stay there. No one touch it. I sleep, I never had a problem. You know, it's like in rare occasions I had an issue with, regarding safety, never, to be honest. Never I felt threatened by people or by, well, by cars sometimes, but it happens in Europe also. And it depends on the country. Drivers are a little bit more crazy or not, and they are not aware of someone who is on the road with a bicycle. And you have to shout and you have to get angry sometimes because it's not 1.5 meters between me and the car. You are pushing me out of the road. But to be honest, the rest of the things that we hear on the TV or in the media, how dangerous is Iran, how dangerous is Stans, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, no. It's like super safe. A big city maybe might be a little bit more dangerous. I mean, maybe China or something, but I never felt, even in big cities, that neither someone trying to rob me or someone trying to take something from my bike or someone trying to threaten me for any reason, you know, nothing at all. I'm sometimes more like, not afraid, but be aware of what will happen in Europe than actually when I was farther. No, sometimes I give the example, unfortunately in Spain, a lot of you leave your bike and you might not have your bicycle when you leave the building from having a beer, or maybe parts. You find your bicycle without a tire or without saddle. You don't need to go that far, you know, like we always think those countries are more dangerous, but hey, hello. Like it happens even in our countries, and there I didn't, like super safe age. Yeah, I think sometimes I trust too much. Like, when I was on the third month of traveling, I got my passport stolen. A bag like this. I wasn't with the bicycle that time. I was with a backpack, and I got passport, camera, tablet, everything stolen. But problem, solution. This is how it works, no? Like, even though the way to find the solution is really long and bumpy sometimes, and it seems there is no way to the solution. That time I remember after 3 months, I just didn't want to come back home to make a new passport. And suddenly I find out that I could do it in Bangkok. Yeah, I stopped crying, I said, okay, I can do it in Bangkok. Cool, what I have to do now to go to Bangkok because I need to exit Cambodia. Long process, at the end you solve it, and that's it. So sometimes I think I trust too much the people, but this being trustful, it helped me a lot to get closer to people, to get new friends, because they see, I think, as I told you before, like, once the energy you project, you will get it back, and if you have a good energy and you show that you trust in someone who is trying to help you, really, like, I think almost not even in 2-3 occasions I had someone who I could say, like, you're trying to get my money, as a tourist. Rare, just come to my house and you're like, yeah, okay, let's go. And it always happened that it was in a good intention. It never happened that, oh no, he wants my money. And if not, you can sense it already, after this time traveling, it's like, oh yeah, I already sense this guy, maybe it might not be the person who I should trust, and you learn about it as well. There is much more humanity than what they tell us. There is much more good people than what they want us to believe, everywhere. No matter religion, no matter social status, economic status, it doesn't really matter. Like, there is so many good people around the world when they want us to believe that there is such a bad people here and there. No. I think this is the biggest lesson for me. Traveling by bicycle is amazing because it gives you this chance of meeting new people, new culture, learning every day. But also the point that you can see how good people is. If I go on a motorbike maybe or in another means of transport, I'm too fast or too far from them to interact. And you can see beautiful places. You can just Google it, and we can see now 4K, 5K, or I don't know how many Ks. You can see the high qualities now. So even with better views than what I see it with a drone, you can see it on YouTube, the beautiful places. I really enjoyed it, but without the people, the place is not the same, I think. Yes, and actually it's like usually people, you give it for granted because you think it's like this. I mean, some countries are really hospitable, yeah? But for example, in India, they kind of make you feel like a king sometimes, no? Like, you give me too much, but to your neighbor, you don't give that much. Just to make a good impression of India to to the foreigner, no? Because you're a white person, and it's like too much like serving you somehow, no? Like, no, you don't have to, like, treat me as you would treat someone else. It's nice, but when it's not over reacted, over, like, sometimes it's just too much. So, and you can feel it, like, and even in Turkey, people is fantastic. I fell in love in Turkey with the Turkish people, and sometimes you could talk to some Turkish guys. Yeah, I was hitchhiking, man, and no one. I mean, people was nice, but they didn't treat me the same way that you are saying, And it's a little bit shocking, no? I don't want to be that kind of imperial thought, no? Like, because they are the white ones, let's treat them. No.
Special treating.
We are not. Same. Do you eat this bread? Do you drink this water? Me too. In India, sometimes I drink all the water that they were giving to me, and sometimes because I was white, they were coming with a bottle, plastic bottle. No, brother. You drink this? Yes. Good for you? Yes. Good for me. Like, we share this together. You don't need to treat me in a special way. You can treat me nicely. Sure, I will appreciate it, but you don't need to treat me like I'm not a king. I'm not here conqueror coming from another lands, you know, and just someone who passing through your lands by bicycle. Depends. Like sometimes I check because if there is something worth it on the way, why not to go check it? No? If it's too touristy, I try to avoid it. But if not, I try to go like, okay, have a quick sightseeing. I usually don't pay for like sightseeing places and stuff, especially if it's too expensive. And let's say there are two ruins, and I know this one cost me 10 euros, and I know this one cost me 0, and they're pretty similar. Tend to go to that one to have an idea of what I like history as well. So. But I do like visit certain places in certain countries, it depends. But I have been in China, I haven't been on the Great Wall, for example. It was too far. I have been in India, I haven't been in Taj Mahal. Doesn't mean I haven't been in India, it doesn't mean I haven't been in China, you know, it's just a big spot, touristic spot over there, and I just decided to go somewhere else. And you find the beauty in other things as well, no? Even if it's not that touristic place. Like, I still, even though I travel for this time, I still find beauty and goodness in things that I'm really surprised sometimes about things that people will tell me like, dude, you've been 6 years traveling almost, and you still find this mountain beautiful? When you've been in Nepal, when you have been in Tajikistan, when you have been in Himalayas in 5,000 meters? Yeah, because it's beautiful as well. It's a nice place, you know, like, so I still find, the day I will not find this beauty, this wow, this surprise factor in things, I think it will mean that I'm bored, I'm fed up of this life and I have to change it. But still, I still find, you know, all these things like, wow. Even though I've been in Poland, and when I entered in Przemysl, I was like, wow, you've been in Poland 3 years, how are you so surprised of what you've seen, no? Well, but yeah, it's different from what I've seen in the last few months. No? The unexpected thing and disappointed for me was when I was 17 months already traveling with the bicycle. I arrived to India, and at the same time I have some problems with my ankles, and I got injured with ankles and stomach at the same time, the bacteria and stuff. That was really unexpected because I'm usually quite healthy, you know, I don't get sick or cold like in winter. No, I'm pretty strong on this. Good immune system, and that was unexpected, and that broke my plans. Let's say the plan was to keep on traveling, and suddenly I felt like, oh, I have to stop everything I'm doing. Then it makes you question to yourself, a lot of questions to yourself. What am I doing? What am I going to do now that I cannot move because my ankles are not in good condition, because my health is not good? You know, these kind of things was, and at the end, really unexpected. I had to take a flight back to Spain and get better. Health first, if I want. When you realize that if you push the limit too much, and health is the most important thing if you want to keep on traveling, you need to be healthy. But it was unexpected. I remember I was on the way back home after 17 months. I should have been so happy. I was crying like a baby on the plane. I couldn't resist. I was on the first plane. I was cried down, and I didn't want to come back home. My thing was I want to keep on traveling, and that was unexpected and hard situation. I think the worst. But same, I arrived to Spain, and hey, let's rebuild this. What should I do right now? And I started doing presentations in schools and learning from other people as well. So okay, you have to do the best of this time, no? Yeah, I had some savings. Then last year, for example, I worked in Turkey as a personal trainer. In the coast, I stay in winter time. I usually stay some places, and in Turkey, I stayed for 4 months and a half in the Mediterranean Sea. And it was warmer, it was nice, and then I could be the trainer of a Scottish couple, so in English, and you know, enough money to keep on living in Turkey. And then I think the point is like the first month when I started traveling, and I realized, oh, I can do this for who knows how long. No, the day I realized that's not only 3 months, and I remember that day. It was crossing from Thailand to Laos in the border. I had a problem. I had to hitchhike. I ended up walking 12 kilometers to get to a hostel in the night. That day I said like, oh, I like this. That day I realized also that if I want to live like this for long, I have this amount of money, so I have to spend as little as I can every day. You know? So you have to split it in as many days as you can, as many years as you can. No? So this way, like then you find out, oh, couch surfing works. You know, like couch surfing for guest hosted, and so the same as couch surfing, we cyclists, we have warm showers. So it's the same system. You apply request to stay with someone, and they give you a couch, a place on their apartment or wherever, you know, and you meet other people. Then you know, you cannot go that much to restaurants. I don't buy clothes and stuff unless I really need something. Well, if I need shoes, yeah, okay, whenever they break, till the end, then I will change my shoes, you know, but I have one pair of shoes and one sandals, and that's it. You learn to live with the less things, or things that fit in these 5 packs. So if you learn this way, and then the beginning is harder, but then you realize you can, oh, I can live with 100, 150 euros a month, or less depending on the country, depending how cheap also. I haven't been in really expensive, but even in more expensive countries, you can find a way to, you know, to solve those high expenses and stuff. Recycling food, I do recycling food. I do things that I can save me money, and at the same time have a good life. It doesn't mean I suffer from hunger. No way. I eat a lot, you know. But you find the way of, and then I have a tent. I sleep in my tent 80% of the time or more. Winter time, like before I arrived to Wantut, I was also camping. Doesn't matter if it's cold. So yeah, like this. You don't have to be rich. You just have to find a balance in what you have. And once you find this balance, easy to keep it going. You know, I keep track of what I spend. It can be a chewing gum. I write it down just to see, you know, if I spend too much or I spend too little, or in what I'm spending my money, including in this money that I'm spending, including the reparations of the bicycle, because it's another expense that it has to be on my budget. As Roberto, I think, but no, yeah, I know, but yeah, I'm a traveler. Let's say if a traveler is someone who moves from place to place, I am. Is it different from the tourist? This kind of, you know, conflict between who is a tourist, who is a tourist is someone who is not in his own lands. So am I a tourist? Yeah, I think I'm a tourist. Is a different tourist than another tourist? Probably yes, because I do by bicycle, but it doesn't make me better or worse than any other people. More than a traveler, I think is let's say I'm a nomad, you know, like I don't have a place. I mean, my place moves. Because
you are your own place.
I am my own place, and whatever. This is my, at the same time, is my mean of transport, the bicycle, but it's also my house, but it's also my companion. So you know, I one day have the tent in one place, the day after it's in another place, and then on the way I meet friends, like for example here in Wantut, or I meet other people, and I stay in their homes and make their homes my home. So I think it's more like a nomad. Traveler, nomad, but someone who is in constant kind of movement, no, without knowing what is your place, what's your home. Well, my roots are in Spain, and in Malaga, I would never say, no, I will reject my roots. No, my roots are my roots, and I love to be there. But right now, for the past 6 years, it's a lifestyle, no, it's a nomad traveler, let's say. Well, it will be temporary only because of the cold, basically, but only for Christmas break. Only actually 1 month, because I'm trying to go back to Spain now, and then back to Krakow will fly, and then from there I'm going to Morocco for 3 months to spend the winter over there and keep on cycling. Because if it would be like sunny and warm, I have no problem to keep on going. But this weather is not the best right now, and I start struggling. You know, sometimes burns my hands, the wind on the face, and I like to enjoy what I'm doing. If I'm not enjoying while cycling, okay, break. One thing leads to another, and then suddenly I'm going to Morocco, trying to find a solution. Wantut, I've been here a few times already, probably like 3-4 times since 2011, 2012. I met Kuba, a friend of mine in Erasmus in Czech Republic. And then, one of my best friends, we keep on contact every time I'm here and there. He comes to Malaga, he came a few times, so he knows my family, I know his family as well. And right now, even Kuba, for example, he works in Krakow, we will see each other in a couple of days, but now his family is hosting me here for a few days. They don't want me to leave by bicycle, but yeah. So that's why I'm here in Guangzhou. Who would say a few years ago, like I would be in such a small place. Small places are better than bigger cities, though. I don't like big cities, and they are more charming, and it has more the essence of authenticity, I think, of people in villages or small towns. In my case, they are always more welcoming than a bustling city, busy, and where everyone has his own time and rush for everything, and different rhythm. In small places, I feel like home. This is one of my homes around the world. Yeah. I love Poland. After 3 years, it's. I think people. I mean, it's of course it's not the same as Mediterranean people, but there is some. I lived also in Czech Republic. It's another completely different people than Polish, for example. But Polish, I find it really open people. And now, even in 2-3 days that I cycle here, wow, people just come to you and ask you like, what are you doing here? And why you come, or just show you your finger, like the finger like this from the car or something. Wow, it's really nice, no? Like people is really open. Like everywhere, there is people who is closer minded and so, but it's everywhere. It's in Spain, it's in here. And then I like the food here. It's good. And I don't know, Polish is a good sense of humor, I think, and of way of living. Like you also kind of live day by day. I mean, you enjoy life as well. I find it much more. I would say, I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but comparing to maybe northern countries, that for us is much farther in the mentality from Spanish. Polish are a little bit more like, let's enjoy this moment, and tomorrow we will see, which we love to say in Spanish, mañana, no? Like, okay, like, why to worry about certain things, And I like this, I was really looking forward to arrive to Poland, because it's where all started, it's where I plan everything, where I decided to leave my previous life to start this life, and suddenly I see myself coming back to the place it all started, so it's like one of those special countries for me. Yes, it is. Like I do it. It's not like so often, but I think it's good to let other people know that there is another way of living, other than either it's in Spanish, in Polish, in English. Doesn't matter in which country. I think people should know that there is also another way of living. And you don't have to be rich to, probably you spend less than what you do in your normal standard life back in your country. And just let the kids know, like, if you want to do something, do it. I just thought I want to do this, and I did it. Of course, there are certain restrictions, if your economic situation is not good and stuff, okay, maybe you cannot do this, but you can do something that you really want at least, no? So I think this is important, to let people know, look, this is not only what they tell us to do. No, you get a house, you get married, you get a kid, you buy your car. Sometimes it looks like the script is already written, and I don't like these written scripts. I like to write my own script. No? So tell people about it, and I think people appreciate it. No? When later on you get the message, and because then you normalize things. For me, this is normal, but then when someone tell you, and oh wow, man, like this is amazing, or this is, you inspire me, and now I went for a weekend hiking in the mountains. Oh, fantastic, man. It doesn't mean you have to do the same I'm doing, but it means I gave you the energy or the perspective that there is something else that you can do with your life. No? And if it changed someone's life, even if it's one person in over 100, cool, like it's good for me already. Because I had someone in the past who my parents were, they liked traveling, and we traveled with the car up to France from Malaga and stuff like this. Maybe it was already somewhere inside me and suddenly came out, and that's why I started traveling. You know? And maybe it will happen to someone the same. You know? Maybe in the future someone think, oh, that guy who came and showed us the bike, and especially for kids or teenagers, you know, that they are developing themselves, you know, themselves as a person. You know? Super. And there are days and days, like anyone's life. Some days are happier, some days are harder, some days are easier. But I'm fulfilled. I'm really like with myself. I think I'm good with myself, and that projects in being good with other people. So, as I say, I will do it until I'm not happy with it, and I'm happy with something else. That's why I want to get to Malaga, and then sometimes I daydream, they say in English. During the day I can project myself. I can see myself going to Americas, I want to do Alaska to Argentina. I see myself in Africa with the bicycle, daydreaming, just, you know, and I'm seeing these places here, but my head is somewhere else. That's, I think, is because I'm happy with what I'm doing, and because I know this makes me happy. I will never change it. I will change the bicycle for sure, but I will never change the way of traveling with a bicycle, unless in one moment I would feel like, oh, a camper will make me happier. But so far I wake up, and even if it's cold and even this, say, let's go, man. If you do it for a reason, and it's because pros against cons are like unbalanced, luckily, like unfortunately for me. Thank you very much, Studio. Really interesting. Thank you.